Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Speedy Return. Its 2-week mission, to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before. Hello ladies and gentlemen, ChaosWulff here and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. As you can see, I am still out on my main account. I am having a lot of fun going around exploring space. I have seen so many amazing sites which I'm now going to share with you. Now just look at this. This is some footage from inside the... I forget whether it was the Trifid or the Omega Nebula, but it is some absolutely amazing views. Just look at the colours that play across the horizon. The purples, the oranges, the blues, the browns and the reds. It is such a beautiful sight. And it's set off so nicely by being in this asteroid belt. But it's not all been fun sightseeing. I've been making some really nice discoveries. I dropped into this system, set off a pulse scan, and I saw 2 little worlds that looked very, very interesting. They looked very blue. So I thought, let's go and take a closer look at them. So I fired up the frameshift drive and sped across the intergalactic plane to go and have a look at these two planets. We can see here that they are both tidally locked, which means they are actually orbiting one another. Oh, look at that! It's a water world. That's going to make me a nice little penny. It's not been discovered before, so that's very nice as well. Now let's have a look at its neighbour. This one seems to be another water world. Now this is something I've not come across before myself. What appears to be 2 tidally locked water worlds. There we go. Detailed surface scan complete. Just look over there. They're not that far apart from each other. Let's get in for a closer look, shall we? There we go. Just look at those. 2 water worlds orbiting one another. Let's have a look at the map, shall we? Alrighty. There we are. That's where they are in relation to everything else. And there we go. Terrestrial water world, active water-based chemistry, carbon water-based life. And look at that. That planet is a candidate for terraforming. And the exact same with its neighbour. 2 terraformable, tidally locked water worlds. Just look at those. I'm going to be keeping an eye out for this system when I go back and sell my data and see how much this is worth. But I am not the only commander out here trying to make some money by exploration. But this has been spotted previously by Renus Omega. So nice one there. You have your name on this star, and this is a star that I was hoping I'd get my own name on. So before we move off, we're going to have to stop off at your star for a quick spot of refueling before we head off to the next leg of our journey. Now I am so happy that I actually spent the extra credits on the biggest fuel scoop, because every second that I can save on refueling at stars means more time that I can spend travelling. Now, we're in another system, and we've already fired off a pulse, and we've seen that there's a lot of astronomical bodies in this system. The first one we scanned was the Class M Red Dwarf. But there are quite a few others there, but this is quite a large amount of bodies, so we're going to go and get some altitude on the situation, get a bird's eye view, so to speak. So, and this is a trick that I learned from Obsidian Ant, and I will link his channel in the video description. But what he said was to move up above the plane of all the orbits around the star. So then we can go in and count out how many rings there are, so we can actually find specific planets if it's too confusing to do so otherwise via just the navigation panel. So I've decided that I want to go and check out the third rock from the sun first of all, and so we're going to go and scan that one, and then we're going to go move on to either the fourth or the fifth. I can't remember quite which one it was yet, but these ones look interesting, so I decided to go and give these ones a scan first. And let's see why I wanted to check these out. Just wait for the scanner to finish and we will see if it was actually worth the time and effort to do this. There we go, high metal content planet. It's certainly no water world, but well, a world's a world. So we'll move off to this next world. I do believe this is the fifth in the fifth orbital ring away from the star. So let's see what this one is. I have a suspicion this one's going to be another metal content world. Yes, it is. And this is why I wanted to see these, because they seem to have atmospheres. But it's just, all it is a high metal contents world. We have as well a couple of these gas giants that I want to go and have a look at. I'm going to go have a look at these other stars as well. Now this one looks interesting as well. We're going to go have a look at that one, and that one specifically, because these two look like they have atmospheres. Anyway, after scanning the rest of the system, I thought I'd come and have a closer look at that last interesting looking planet. Now again, this is just another high metal content world, but this one seems to have two polar caps as well. And flying past, it almost looks like a profiterole. And there, a big dollop of ice cream. I'm getting hungry just looking at this planet now. But I don't know how much this planet's going to make me with the universal cartographics, but it's still a pretty sight. And speaking of pretty sights, let's go and have a look inside this ice ring. Now this ice ring is orbiting one of the gas giants in this system. Now just look at this. It's so peaceful and calm in here. See the gas giant off to the left here. In the distance there we can see the galactic core off towards Sagittarius A. And right now I can't even resist the urge just to fly between the closely spaced rocks. Just look at that. But anyway, that's enough horsing around. Let's get back to it. We're going to need to get another pit stop at the next star. And this one is a Class A star, I believe. Just look at that pure, brilliant white. There we go. We're full on fuel, so let's let's get away from this star before it cooks us alive. And yes, it's nice to see that I was correct. This is an A-class star. But there is something interesting else in this system. There's another star in the distance. But let's go and have a closer look. Now I've closed within scanner range, and the scanner is now doing its work. But it still looks a little bit strange in the distance. Can you spot what's wrong with this picture yet? No? We'll get a bit closer and see. There we go. Now we can see what all the fuss was about. We actually have 2 stars orbiting one another. We have the Class M orbiting on the inner ring. On the outer ring, we have a smaller, cooler star, a red dwarf. A brown dwarf even. Apologies there. Seems I don't know my dwarves very well. I always get confused between Doc and Dopey. But that is a very nice little sight there. 2 stars right next to one another. We don't get to see this all that often. But now we're in another system. And after the initial scan, we have a look, and we see a few planets that look very interesting. They have some type of atmosphere, like this one here. And perhaps this one here as well. Not sure about these ones. The rest of these just look like lifeless rocks. And there's a few on this, orbiting this star that look kind of interesting. And again, they are undiscovered, which is really nice. So it's giving me yet more hope of getting my name on some stars. But anyway, let's go and have a look and see what these planets are. Scanning the first one here. Let's see, it's a water world. I wouldn't have pegged that looking at it from the system map. You can see it's a terrestrial water world with active water-based chemistry, and it is a terraformable world. So yeah, that was yet another great discovery. And now we jumped over to a different system. I can't stay too long in each individual system now that I'm on my way back, because I do want to get back to civilized space as soon as I can. But I'm not about to stop from scanning systems, especially if that means I can get my name on a star, as I said before. And hopefully I'm going to be able to get my name on this star, even though it is just a brown dwarf. Now let's take a moment to have a look at where we've come from. That over there is the Omega Nebula. And stretching out across the distance there, you can see the centre of the galaxy. And again, we're now jumping over to a different system. This one I have been in more recently. And this one looks very interesting to me. We have an A-class star, or 2 A-class and a B-class. And we have so many what appear to be metal-rich worlds. Several with atmospheres by the look of it. Now this does look extremely interesting. So now we're flying around the first star, and again we've gotten some altitude on the situation. So we can get around and we can have a look and see all the orbital lines stretching out in the system. And we see that that's the furthest point over there is 12,000 light seconds. But now we can see from a different view, and you can see where all the stars go, and it's always great to get this high up, because then you can see exactly what is in the system. So let's just scan this particular planet and let us see what this one is. Now I suspect it's either going to be metal rich or high metal content. My money's more on the high metal content because the metal rich planets are a lot fewer and far between. Yeah, I'm right, a high metal content planet. No, I was looking around for the next closest one on the plane across, because I prefer to go from one side of the galactic plane to the other, trying to fly in as straight a line as possible whilst I am scanning, because then I don't have to fly back and forth and all zigzag, wasting more time. And again, there's yet more high metal content planets. So let's see what let's run through what we've got. 1 high metal content, 1 metal rich, 2 high metal contents, couple of gas giants. I've not bothered scanning these moons at all. There's no point in it really. Somebody did come across a terraformable one, but I somehow don't think I'm going to be getting that lucky. That's 2 metal rich, 3 high. Oh, I'm giving up counting. The vast majority of these, as you can see, are all high metal content, which are not quite as good as the metal rich, but they are still worth a little pretty penny. And this system just looked so nice, I thought I had to go and just take a look at everything. Maybe I should have gone and scanned that moon, but I really couldn't be bothered. After the gentle hum of the engines charging, we get ready for the next part of our journey. But that part of this story will be told another day. But I leave you now, Commanders, with my closing log and photos of the journey. And remember, keep flying and stay shiny. Ship's log. The universe never did make sense to me. I suspect it was built on government contract.